Who's number one? In English, who's number one? En español, ¿quién es el número uno? In Japanese, 誰が一番ですか? Doesn't matter how you say it because the result is always the same. Who is number one is this guy right here. Kaynan Duarte. He went toe-to-toe with Rodolfo Vieira. And this was a fast one. There's an old saying, any great business deal or any great war was won because they went first, fast, and hard. And that's exactly what happened. Kaynan went first, fast, and hard, and he basically stacked two techniques. What I love about jiu-jitsu is the transitions, the movements, the relationship that you have between you and your opponent. Sometimes you have to stack 15 techniques to get the submission, and on the way to getting the submission, you encounter obstacles that you got to compromise with. This type of interaction, it comes down to who solves the puzzle first. So let's see what happened. Kaynan and Rodolfo squared up. The grip that Kaynan used behind Rodolfo's head when they were standing was pretty cool. It was interesting. It reminds me of when you have someone in the triangle and you put both hands behind the head and you pull the head down. It's almost like he was doing that. But then he did a really cool technique, the throw by, and you wonder, what's the throw by? The throw by is basically a standing arm drag. That same type of principle. It's a back take, and you literally throw them by you. And you see right here, he has his left arm still connected behind the neck of Rodolfo, but with his right arm, it almost uses as like a lever. You see his fist underneath the elbow right there, and he picks it at the elbow and throws it off to the side as he swings it over, still keeping his left hand hooked behind the head, and he puts his right hand down on the hip. Right there, he's going for the back take, runs around, and jumps right away and gets his left hook in. This was an interesting part here because this is when I thought that Rodolfo was going to escape. I thought he was going to bring his right arm underneath the hook. A lot of times you don't want to get your right arm caught in the hook because you're put in a straitjacket position where your opponent on your back has one of your arms locked up, and it's a lot easier for them to get the choke because you only have one arm to defend. However, in this particular situation, the way that he was facing downwards, I thought that if he put his right hand to the mat right here, there would be enough space between his arm and his leg in his rib cage, his arm in his midsection, to where he could create a tripod kind of position and start to shake him off. But he didn't do that. He didn't put his right hand down. That's what I thought it was going to be. I thought he was going to escape right there and shake him off over the top. But Kaynan went and put his right leg back inwards and got a figure four, locked up a back triangle. And another thing that happened to Rodolfo that I thought was interesting is he stood up. So when he stood up, I thought that maybe he was going to try to unhook the legs, unlock the legs, the figure four. But this was the beginning of the end right here, because what Kaynan did is he postured upwards. And here you go, right here. Like lightning striking down from above, or an Olympic swimmer diving into a pool of water. Kaynan dove down and went right into a choke, and they went right back to the mat, and Rodolfo tapped quite quickly. So much so that I thought that perhaps he was injured, not taking anything away from Kaynan or not making excuses for Rodolfo, but both these guys actually are both such respectable, honorable people that, if Rodolfo had an injury, he's not going to speak about it. He's not going to use it as an excuse. He's going to stay soldier, and he's going to march forward. But Kaynan, man, he put in this choke, and it was quick, and it was beautiful. And, a lot of times, for me, the beauty of jiu-jitsu is seeing the techniques stacked on top of each other, and sometimes there's a timid approach where you kind of wear your opponent down, and then you start to open up on them when they get a little tired, and you see all that, and it comes down to who solves the puzzle first. That's who gets the submission based on the transitions, the interactions, the movements, the relationship. But then there's the other times where you the aggressive approach, the basic two techniques stacked, took his back, put the choke, and that was it. It was aggressive. It was awesome. He went first, fast, and hard. There's an old school saying in Wing Chun, the best defense is offense. And I think that applies a lot to jiu-jitsu as well. If you're constantly putting movements and techniques on your opponent, it's going to be hard for them to open up on you because they're constantly defending what you're doing. Thus, you're dictating the action. Boom, boom. Took the choke, choked him out. It was sweet. It was awesome. And if you've watched this video, I appreciate you taking the time. And thank you so much.